Guam is the largest of over 2,000 islands in the North Central and West Pacific that comprise Micronesia. It's the southernmost island of the Marianas Archipelago, an arc of islands that was formed by submerged volcanoes. Tropical forests, rich in biological diversity, originally covered the island. Because of the extremes of unchecked urban development, climate, invasive species, and war, Guam's forests are now severely degraded. Even in their current state, the forested limestone plateau of northern Guam assists in recharging the aquifer that provides Guam's people with drinking water. Many parts of Guam are developed. Guam hosts millions of visitors annually. The natural beauty of Guam's forests, beaches, and coral reefs delight the many tourists. In the island's south, the forests provide protection for the reefs from smothering silt, but where the forest has been degraded, sediment that washes down from the rivers can smother coral. Historically, the indigenous Chamorro people have gathered natural resources from the forest for most of their living necessities. Continuing this tradition is important to today's Chamorros.
It's in our DNA, it's in my DNA, and just caring for the land, coming from the land, and just being raised to care for it in that way, and just realizing the healing properties that she holds.
Guam is speckled with several forest types. Rugged limestone forests are found primarily in the north. The stretch of sandy soils from the shoreline to the cliffs are strand forests. In the central and south, there are swamp and mangrove forests. In the rolling mountains and hills are thick ravine forests. And secondary and scrub forests are found on degraded areas. Guam forests continue to face threats mainly caused by human activity. These include urban development, unchecked soil erosion, wildfires, and invasion by vertebrates, reptiles, insects, and plants. Few places on Earth have suffered the devastating effects of invasive species like Guam. These impacts have been fast and unabated. Despite the formidable challenges, substantial research, management, and outreach efforts are underway to counteract forest degradation in Guam. All of Guam's invasive pests are free of predators. Brown tree snakes are perhaps the most active. The brown tree snake numbers are now estimated to be in the millions. A unique program using a bait toxic to snakes is one stopgap measure.
The greatest technical challenge is getting the baits to the snakes where they forage, and that is up in the treetops. So we have a dead newborn mouse with a acetaminophen tablet adhered to the mouse, and that gets tucked into a paper pulp capsule wrapped with a ribbon and tucked inside a little cardboard tube, so it looks like a roll of quarters when it's all done. As each bait cartridge is ejected from the helicopter, it opens up in midair, and the ribbon portion of the cartridge tangles in the treetops, so the bait is up in the treetops exposed to where foraging brown tree snakes can eat the bait.
Fadang, or Cycas micronesica, was once the most abundant forest species in Guam. It is now driven to near eradication by invasive insects, including the Asian cycad scale. The coconut rhinoceros beetle was detected in 2007. Formerly abundant coconut palms are being killed and are host to beetle infestations.
In this case, we're using insect pathogens. One is a fungus which has been introduced from the Philippines, and it's already spread over the whole island. It's killing about 20% of our rhino beetle population. We're hoping to get a form of a virus that only kills rhinoceros beetles. It's called Oryctus rhinoceros nudibvirus. The way we get the virus out there is we infect healthy adults, and before they get sick, we let them fly off. They fly into the jungle, and they mate and infect them. It's kind of like a COVID virus for beetles.
The University of Guam's GPEP aims to prevent the disappearance of rare native plant species. It works with conservation partners to restore them.
We have a project to develop the plans for a restoration area up in Jigo, a pretty large one. Or it's an area that's mostly dominated by invasive species right now. The goal of the project is to kind of get rid of those invasive species and reestablish the native forest. And we're hoping to get some of the endangered plants back in that plan as well.
This work is not without its challenges.
Like one of the main ones that we work with, main trees that we work with that's endangered is the Cereanthus nosoni. And so trying to increase that population, because there's the last mother tree that's here on the island. Yeah, we're working hard on that.
For decades, the Guam Department of Agriculture has established tree plantings to restore forest structure, function, and diversity in Guam's eroded badlands.
Munga Masongi Guahan, don't burn Guam. And we chose this slogan because it's a unifier, right? It's everybody saying we're not going to do this. Don't do this. And together we can prevent the spread of wildfires across our landscape, which is devastating all of our attempts at trying to reforest and protect both new forests that we're planting and the old forest that's still intact.
At the current pace, the cycads and many other native trees will be gone, so it is imperative to learn more about human and biophysical interactions in Guam and pursue comprehensive work to develop sound restoration practices and prevent species extinction. The island needs resources and the coordinated efforts of all institutions and communities from Guam and beyond to succeed in this daunting endeavor.